this country was built off a revolution, right? Well, over a course of time, every revolution devours itself in some form or way, right? And I think right now, I don't want to speak negative into the universe, but I think we're looking at the footsteps or the bottom rung of the revolution uh, consuming itself. Because to your point, you know, this alleged checks and balances doesn't even exist no more. The proof is in the pudding there. You know, the thought process of the pursuit of your own happiness is almost out the door. Because if we can all of a sudden uh, find billions of dollars to support three different nations, but we can't even find affordable housing for our own troops that serve this country, then again, where is our priorities at? Right. And I don't want to make this all a political stance like I'm running for mayor or anything like that. But if we're going to call
Nah, bro,
a
listen,
spade, let's call a spade a
this
spade.
is free
You
space for
know,
you to for you to
yeah.
speak. So don't
You
ever
know,
qualify what
I,
you say. Go ahead.
I think one of my pet peeves is when people talk about affordable housing. You know, what's affordable? What's affordable to me is not affordable to you. What's affordable for that person is not affordable for you. So, again, I think, just reimagining some of our governmental institutions, getting involved, showing our young people, you know, the 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 opportunities that exist in civic government, you know, getting them engaged, right? I mean, go around to your local high school and see who's on the student body, right? Man, here's a great thing I want to share. And I got this from my guy. Uh, the very first time I met this gentleman, we was at a recidivism event, and when I met him, he said, "Smith," he said, he's not a Republican, but he was like, you know what? This is why I admire Republicans. Republicans teach their kids from day one how to be Republicans. That's all they know. Conservative Republicans, right? What about us? What do we instill in our kids? You know, we have a lot of taboos in our community. We don't talk about sex, we don't talk about love, we don't talk about politics, right? Um, and then we wonder why we're not involved. We haven't even introduced it. We haven't even introduced this notion of a democratic process. As parents, there's no democracy in the house. Boy, go sit down and eat your dinner and then go to bed, you know, or you're going to eat what I tell you to eat, you know. What's the saying? Be seen and not heard. We don't even practice democracy in our own community, in our own house, and then to our point where the conversation me and you are having, how do we move forward? We got to introduce democracy first. We got to introduce how do we have conversations where we don't get our way, right? Because everybody wants to win. Everybody wants their thought to be the best thought and their way to be the best way. So I think there's a lot of work we have to do, and it all goes back to what I said earlier. This education. We got to educate our young folks at an early age and introduce them to everything, not just different things, but everything. You know that's my goal is to introduce young people to everything.
Yeah, and it's got to go hand in hand with building community. We can build community, we can educate, and we can give people those opportunities to be exposed, right? And to, experience a growth in their imagination, the bounds of their imagination that can allow them access to the same thing that you and I can imagine, a world where we use our power differently, where we use our money differently, where we build people up
Mm.
instead of use it to tear people down and blow them up. This world is not so far fetched. I feel in 2024 especially, where we can feed everyone if we want. Okay, like it's time for us
If
to
we want.
Yeah, like it's time for us to like, face some hard facts, like the scarcity that has dictated a lot of conflict in the past, it's over. We can house, feed, and clothe everyone on this planet if we so choose. So the question now becomes, what the heck are we doing? You
You're
know,
you're
the
you're
heck are we
you're
doing?
asking people to make conscious decisions.
Yeah, conscious decisions, about where you spend your money, how you spend your money, who you.
I love that you said that. Like to make a conscious decision about where you spend your money, who you spend your money with. Right. I'm of this fact, and I've been saying this for a while now. Everybody wants to be pro-black until it's time to be pro-black. Right. That, like you said, being accountable. Being accountable. That means you have to stand up and make a conscious decision that I'm going to do this and I'm going to stand on this. Whatever happens, I'm going to stand on it. Right. And I, I don't, it irks me when people say I'm pro-black or I'm pro-black, but yet you go out and buy Louis Vuitton. You go out and buy, you're making all these other people rich, but you won't spend $100 on a black made product because you want the hookup. Now again, I'm probably doing too much there, but it is what it is. Again, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. If we're gonna move forward, we need to move forward. You know, we spend more in our own community, right? We'd probably be a lot better. Um, but we continue to go out and make other people rich. And I had this conversation with my oldest son not too long ago. Imagine if LeBron and KD and Steph, and I only use that as an example because these are household names that people know. But imagine if those three, along with some other black NBA stars, said, you know what, NBA, I'm through with you. We're going to go create our own black league. And it's going to be sponsored by black designers and black wineries and black restaurants and all of these black products. The NBA would fold. The NBA would fold. And you want to talk about putting people on notice? That's going to hit home because now we're talking about capitalism. We are talking about the free market where people purposefully left an age old institution and started their own, which is now dominated, run, supported, all on the premise of black business. Imagine that. Imagine that. You want to talk about being on notice? You're going to be on notice. And I will say this, it ain't going to be only black folks that leave the NBA. You're going to see the white folks that they're going to show their true color. Oh, I'm going over there too, right? And so again, well, that's my thing. Like, let's not just talk about it. Let's be about it. Let's be accountable. You know, I seen a couple of things that just drives me crazy. You know, in the NBA and in baseball and football, they have all these hashtags about Heritage Month and all lives or humanity and hashtag this. Man, go out and create our own league and fund it with black money and watch the change in our society when you start messing with capitalism, man, now we doing something. Now we doing something, you know,
Now we're talking about, again, where the power lies. That's where the
where the
power
power lies.
lies. It's unfortunate, because capitalism doesn't care about values. Capitalism doesn't care about morals. And in fact, if you're willing to sacrifice those, capitalism will reward you. So it's again, these paradoxes now exist that we have to contend with, and we have to find a way through. And that's one of the reasons that a lot of people also shy away from taking action, because the number of traps is OD. like
Mm.
I mean, basically, if you don't have level 9 like sight, like if you're not rolling multiple d20s, then you're in trouble. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
yeah. So it's a complicated problem that only cooperation, only human centric cooperation that is pragmatic, that recognizes the economic and social conditions that we're living under, that recognizes the needs of our youth, you know, and that reinforces in them the truth, which is that they have value, they have humanity, and they have power. And the power can be best utilized by cooperating with others in a united goal and plan. And yeah, it's unfortunate that the evil that has been wrought upon us through a racialized hierarchy, they had generations to shore up their plan. They had generations to figure out what to do. They had the backing, you know, of a great power in order to pull it off. You know, we have to do it without all of that. We have to do it without backing of a great power. We've got to do it without generations to spare. But we're used to coming from behind. We're used to rising to the challenge. Thanks for watching. For access to the full-length conversation and all of the 2-hour-long unedited conversations that I've had on race, click the support link in the description below. Thanks for your support and see you next time.